Hey, Lewis is in here. Let me see if I can get a link. Uh, oh, that's weird. Usually I can get a. Okay. There we go. Just getting a link here while we're going. All right. Oops. This is all different on my phone than the last time I did it. I usually do this from the computer when I'm home. There we go. Do. Paste. So I thought today I would talk about things that we should all be stockpiling that we may or may not have the same access to with all the things going on in the world right now. So, things that I am storing extras of in lieu of world events. I am storing extra cocoa because chocolate is not grown in the United States. Oh, thumbs up myself there. So I also have put back coffee beans. So I have coffee beans, I have cocoa. I put back some dried dehydrated bananas because that's also something that I definitely can't get in Michigan and comes mostly from other countries. So I've made sure to have some of that put back in light of current world events. Is there anything any of you have been, sorry, I'm rocking, I'm in a rocking chair. Any of you have noticed that you are storing in light of current events? So, like I said, um, honey is something that keeps forever. I would be storing it. Oh, cane sugar. Cane sugar is another thing that I've been putting up. Um, and this time of year, I always put up extra vinegar because I use that a lot in preserving, and I don't make enough uh, to preserve all my foods myself. So, vinegar, honey, cocoa, coffee, vanilla beans are another thing that I'm going to be stocking up on here soon because that's something that's imported. And I want to make sure that I have some. It's not something I can grow myself. So, anything else anybody can think of? Go ahead and post something in the comments. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. I'll thumbs up myself again. Hit the like button. Make sure you're subscribed. And be sure to comment. Lurkers are great, but just, make a comment. Hey, I'm here. Otherwise, YouTube doesn't count the view. So, um, there is the link if anybody wants to come up. They do have to show their face, and I would prefer that I know you. So, if you haven't been in the chat before, I probably won't let you in. So, uh, so, hey, Lewis. There's the link if you want to come up. But those were the things I was trying to think of some other things. Probably rice, but I have a huge supply of rice, so I probably won't store any unless I won't buy any more unless I use up some. Um, I have a 2 year supply of lentils. I have a 2 year supply of rice already. So I'm not going to be storing any extras of that. Yeah, all the food you eat. That's a good thing to store. Yes. Right now, with the tariffs, I'm trying to think of things that might go up in price that it would be beneficial for me to have my 2 year supply um, confirmed before that. Hi, Homesteader Rachel. Good morning. There is a link if you would like to come up. Um, just trying to think of things with the tariffs that I would like. Probably need for my canning season, especially. I need sugar, cane sugar. We have beet sugar we manufacture here. But for some things, I prefer cane sugar. So cane sugar, vinegar, some of my spices. I need to look at my spices and where they're grown. I may need to increase have my spices. I usually keep a 1 year supply of because I like them fresh, but I may increase that to a 2 year supply with things I think will be beneficial. Yeah, firewood to cook and heat your house. And when I go on walks and when I'm at the cabin in the summer, I pick up sticks and logs and little tree limbs and bring them back and cut them up and put them in my firewood pile. I'm not doing firewood there yet, but I do have the wood fired stove there, so I could. And so I do try to store up firewood. I'm really lucky I live in the woods, so I'm not real worried about having firewood, although it's always best to have it dried and ready for the next following year. I figured it would take about 7 cords of wood to heat my cabin in the winter. I don't stay there in the winter currently, so my goal is eventually to have 7 cords of wood stashed at the cabin that I could use. I had a great big tree cut down and I let someone take all the wood from that so that I wouldn't be in my garden area, and I wish I'd have kept it now. But I didn't have a wood splitter either at that time. So generator. I actually have 3 generators. Funny story. I have a very tiny one that needs maintenance work on it. I have a medium-sized one that I bought for $20 at a garage sale because it did not work and had the maintenance done and it's all done. And then I have one that's big enough to do a whole house. And that generator, not the whole house, but everything you have to have electric for. That generator, I have bought the parts because the gas line goes out every couple of years. So I bought a fresh fuel filter and fuel line, and that just needs to be installed on that, and it will be up and running in a couple of minutes. So, and then as soon as I get that installed, I'm buying the next one for it because it seems like that's a never-ending battle with that generator, mostly because it's stored outside. So, but for food, probably bay leaves because I don't grow bay and it's not something. I'm trying to think of spices. I do grow my own coriander, so I don't have to worry about that. Check, make sure nobody's okay. So I'm not real worried about coriander and cilantro. Probably cinnamon. Cinnamon is another one that's imported, so I will probably be looking for some good cinnamon. Water. I do have water. I'm lucky I live in Michigan. We are never more than 5 miles from a safe freshwater source. I would just have to filter. Oh, there we go. Hey, Gil.
Hey,
So we're kind of talking about things I want to increase my stockpile because of the tariffs and importing stuff. So on my list, I have cocoa, cane sugar, vanilla, bay leaves, coffee. I was just trying to do kind of a shopping list today of things I should be. Oh, some salts. The Himalayan sea salt is imported. I'll probably switch to Redmond's. That's from the USA. Um, I'm just trying to think of things that I need to. Hey, Natasha, you can come up if you want. The link is in the chat. Um, just trying to think of some things that I need to stock up on and up to a 2 year supply in view of world events. So I'm trying to think of things that are imported that I want to have more. So it said we just went live with tonight's live. That's weird. I just got a notification that we are now live with tonight's live.
well, I just clicked on, so you probably got the notification from me.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we're going live tonight at 8 o'clock. It is a Q&A on questions, and canning, food preservation of all kinds. So please join us either on Gray Man Prepping, Mad Chick Acres, or Rebel Canners for that. So, but yeah, I'm just trying to think of some things. That medieval thing got me going. There's Lewis. Hi, Lewis. Let me get you up here. All right. Hello. So that tried to get me going on what things I would need. You know, if I had a siege at my castle, what would I want to have? So kind of thinking. I always try to think ahead too, and I don't like to go out when in the middle of canning season to buy something I forgot. So I always like to stock up on pickling spice, canning jars, canning lids, vinegar, sugar, clear gel, sure gel, those kind of things. And I'm really low on a lot of those canning things because of moving.
Yeah.
That's the horrible thing about moving. Go ahead,
From what
Lewis.
I hear, it'll be sooner or later. From what I hear, it'll be pretty much everything. So like whatever food, household, construction, cars, stuff like that.
Yeah. We haven't been able to get really good cars here quite a while, unless you want to pay buying a brand new house price. Even used cars, the price of used cars is so high since they did that buyback the government did and had all of the used cars dismantled.
Yeah.
So. Oh, all right. Thanks, Natasha. She's listening while working on stuff today. She is doing a collab. My video will be out on the 12th, but she is doing a collab. There is a bunch of prizes, and every day, check out the hashtag emergency25. And she's got some great people collaborating with her on that collab. Yeah, Homestead Rachel just bought another vinegar the other day. Oh, I can't highlight comments from this. Yeah, I know that I will use 4 vinegars. I will use at least 2 white vinegar and 2 apple cider vinegar for my canning every summer. And that's just for me and Sawyer. And that's just my usual. Every year, even probably without my son, I would probably use the 4 gallons of vinegar. So I always try to buy it. Right now at Easter is the best time to buy vinegar. They always have it on sale for people who are dyeing eggs. I don't know who can afford to dye eggs. I'm going to be dyeing potatoes this year. That meme you sent me is not really a joke this year.
Yeah.
I'm going to be coloring rocks and putting them in baskets this year. I went to the store the other night and I just had to get some stuff. So I just ran down to the Dollar General here. $9.10 a dozen. I'm definitely gonna think of ways to keep chickens in my little camper. This is ridiculous. I need 3 chickens. That's the end of that.
Yeah. Well, when it comes to chickens, and
Yeah,
if
they
you
don't
keep
tell
that
you water.
or an old horse trailer or old little trailer that you can build a chicken coop on. So when you take it with you wherever you go.
I have a chicken coop and a chicken run already built out at the property. It's just I'm staying here with the family right now.
Yeah.
I have a dog kennel. I think I'm just gonna convert the dog kennel into a chicken coop. They don't need that much space. I can let them out when I'm there and keep them in the coop when I'm not. I don't think they need that much space.
Yeah.
Yeah. Natasha Budget Pepper, she added 4 more chickens yesterday to get her up to 11. You know, for the 2 of us, the boy will eat 5 eggs in a sitting, which if I'll let him. So that's just scrambled eggs in the morning. Yeah, Adnir, I think it's at the point now where it's actually cheaper to buy powdered eggs than fresh ones. I may have to dip into my powdered egg stash at this point. Oh. Oh, yeah, and the monkey eats 3 eggs a day. Yeah, so the monkey would need at least uh 3 eggs a day. He didn't need at least 4 hens to keep him. Yeah, you needed those extra 4 hens just for him. Homesteader Rachel says if you have a garden, you might want to get extra gardening fertilizers, tools, and seeds. Had trouble finding bone meal over the weekend. If you are canning and you can make your own bone meal. If you can use the scraps, pressure cook them down till they're really soft, grind them up, dehydrate them. That's all bone meal is. You can. I know
Yeah,
they say not to
chicken
compost
bones are
bones.
the best to do that way.
Yep. I know they say not to compost bones, and it does take a very, very long time. But if you have a campfire, you can throw your bones into the campfire, and over time they will get mixed in with the wood ashes and break down. And when you're putting that wood ash on your garden, it does add bone meal to it, but not in the quantities that you do when you're adding fertilizer the other way. But it can be added, you know.
I just went and ordered 2 types of squash seeds from Baker Creek, and then I ordered another set from Amazon. From the Amazon, it was Needy Seeds or something like that, non-GMO ones, and for a squash, and then I got 200 pumpkin seeds as well,
Oh,
non-GMO.
nice.
And the ones I got, I can't remember off the top of my head. Give me a second here, I'll look it up. But I saw it on a reel. She was talking about. She goes, I have a problem with squash. If I miss the squash, this nice small squash and zucchini, and I miss it by a day, suddenly it's twice as big. And if 2 days, it's a baseball bat. And then she showed enough. She showed the one she is recommending. And let me see if I can find it here.
Yeah, you sent that to me. That was really cool.
Yeah, and so dang it, I can't find it. That's right, because I ordered it through Baker Creek. Hang on. I got to go back to the email here. And it was really long neck, and then the bulb at the end where all the seeds were. But it's like the one is a summer squash, the other one's a winter squash. So it'll keep all through winter, and you don't have to worry about scraping the seeds out because they're all on the bottom. You split that sucker open at the bottom, and you got all your seeds there.
It almost looked like a super long necked birdhouse gourd to me.
Yeah. It's got a weird name here. Let's see, online orders. There we go. Okay, the one is called Zucchini Ram Pictini.
Oh,
And the other one is Long Denise. And I got those were on Baker's Creek. The one was $3.50 for 25 seeds. The other one was $3 for 20 seeds.
Oh wow!
All I need to do, if I get one where I harvest seeds from, I'll then have
Yeah.
a buttload of seed for the next year.
Yeah. I have so many seeds. I have a little seed bank, and I have so many seeds. I actually need to use some up before I buy any more because they are getting some seeds in there are 10 years old, and I really need to rotate my seeds better. Took by V says she's never. Oh, I figured out how to do it. Never had a problem composting bones. Hey, Swede. Good evening. Good afternoon. Here.
Ooh.
Good to see you. So, yeah, seeds. Are something mostly I can get here or plants. So I'm not too worried about that. I just really want to stock up on the things that I don't usually keep a whole lot of, like cocoa. But obviously we're not growing chocolate here, and same with coffee. I love my coffee, so I'm going to start buying bags of coffee beans because they keep longer and putting them in my freezer. So I'll just pick one up every time I go to the grocery store until I get where I want to be with that.
I stick my coffee in mason jars and vacuum seal it.
Yeah, yeah. You can do that. If just the coffee that's ground, it'll go bad because it oxygenates. So beans are longer storage than already ground coffee.
Chile just had a 6.1 earthquake.
Ooh. So, but the price of sugar is going to go up. So I want to get sugar because even though we make sugar right here next to me, I mean, they're growing sugar beets in the field next to me. With the cane sugar being imported, the price is going to go up. So I might as well get a 50-pound bag and get it put back now for summer than waiting and then being disappointed because I don't have it.
So I had to.
That's all right.
This was the first 6.0 earthquake or greater in March, so I had to add it to the chart and save that.
Yeah. So thank you all for coming in. Be sure to hit the thumbs up. I see we have 7 people in here now. If you're lurking, just leave a comment. So YouTube does not count you if you don't make a comment. So
Shadow Scout Sweet is here on my side.
Rachel, I like to get those 1-gallon pickle jars. I know I can, but I don't make enough pickles for my family. And pickles are something that are very cheap. So I like to, whenever I get my chance, I like to save those 1-gallon pickle jars, rinse them out, and restock and keep my sugar in those. But you can keep them in mason jars. But
yeah, I put regular sugar and brown sugar. Yeah, I put white sugar and brown sugar in mason jars and vacuum seal it.
Oh, don't vacuum seal it. Do not vacuum seal your sugar. Have you opened them yet?
No.
Okay, well, here's the problem. You made sugar cubes. So it is now a sugar brick. And you're going to have to chisel it out of that jar. You do not have to vacuum seal sugar to keep it forever. You just have to put the lid on tight enough to keep it from getting any moisture in there. So if you do that, you're going to make, if you do vacuum seal sugar, it will make, it'll make a brick, just as hard as a rock. Also, you don't have to store brown sugar. It would be much more beneficial space-wise to store white sugar and then have molasses. Molasses also keeps forever in glass jars. And you just add a couple teaspoons of molasses to a cup of sugar or 2 cups of sugar, and you have light or dark brown sugar, depending on how dark you want your brown sugar. And it's a lot cheaper to buy white sugar a lot of places too than brown sugar.
And if Mark were in here, he'd be going off on the rant about making sure it's cane sugar, not beet sugar, because of the stuff they spray on the beet sugar to kill off all the bugs.
Yeah, they put a lot of chemicals on it. I mean, I live around here. We make it here. But yeah, if you ever smelled a sugar factory, you would never eat sugar again. Just saying.
Yeah.
I will not go to Bay City, Michigan when they're burning when they're making the sugar, because I can't stand the smell.
Yeah, there used to be several different sugar factories here around Idaho Falls, but I'm not sure what. I guess they just loaded up on the railroad cars now and ship it off someplace else.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Hey, Tammy, ours is in there. Hi. Thank you. Yeah, I don't store brown sugar anymore because it's too hard to keep brown sugar. And then, but you can make it so quick. You can make it in a couple minutes. Oops. Wait a minute. So if it's been more than 2 weeks, you can redo that jam and add more pectin, bring it back up to a boil. A lot of times when jelly doesn't set, and yeah, and again, jelly hasn't set or not set until it's been after 2 weeks. It can take up to 2 weeks for it to set at all. After 2 weeks, you can bring it back, put it back, empty it out of all the jars, put it back on the stove, bring it up to a boil, add another package of pectin, and redo it. And then boil it for 5 minutes, and then jar it up again, and it should set for you then.
Yeah.
By these area, but they don't seem to sell directly to the public. So as a kid, I used to live in Florida, and they would sell these 6-inch pieces of sugar cane in the grocery store, and kids just love to like chew on those like a teether, and you get the sugar out of it. I would love if I could get my hands on some raw sugar cane. That would bring back my childhood. We lived in the citrus groves in Florida, and sugarcane you can grow in Florida, but they can't seem to grow it here. Oh, there is some bamboo that they can grow here.
Yeah, my dad planted a cane sorghum
Mm-hmm.
and for our cows because cows really loved it.
Oh yeah, yeah. If you have like, I know somebody the other day posted somebody's horse was really, really skinny and it was elderly, and they're like, it's really hard to keep their horse in good condition. And we used to feed beet pulp and sorghum, ground sorghum. They would sell it in the senior feed or sell the beet pulp separate to feed the horses to keep them in condition. Oh, we lost Lewis.
Yeah.
In condition. So.
Yeah, I went to Sam's Club yesterday morning, and the price of beef jumped.
Yeah, I'm sure.
I mean, because I was getting the pot roast at $4.99, and now it's $4.87. And it's like, whoa!
Wait, 489. You said 487. I think you.
It's a $5.87. Sorry,
587. Okay.
Yeah, it went up almost $1.
Yeah.
And the same thing with the ground beef went up almost $1. And some of the other cuts, I mean, I look at it, says $20. It's like, no.
Yeah. So, and what I do is this last week, I bought 2 roasts on sale, and then I cut them into steaks. And then I just put those steaks away in the refrigerator. Because the roast on sale were really, really cheap. It was almost cheaper than hamburger. So even if I have to use it for stew meat or grind it into hamburger later, I'm still ahead of the game that way. Yeah, Costco price went up on beef. I wish I had a place I could raise beef. I may have to go back. I haven't had rabbits in a while. I may have to go back to having rabbits at this rate. So
yeah, it's getting weird. My daughter had got some batch of chickens last fall, and they either the possum or froze. My daughter got some chickens last fall, some new ones, and they were, when she keeps them in the house, they get so big, and then she takes them out and
right
introduces them and stuff. But they what happened, they forgot to close the door on the chicken coop, from the run.
Right.
And either some trash pandas or opossums got in there and took out the little ones.
Oh.
So
I think the next time I'm going to invest in one of those solar doors.
I tried telling her that, and she goes, "Oh, no." And afterwards, I go, "Now, if you put that automatic solar powered door in, it would have closed." And
it's cheaper than new chickens.
yeah, especially after a couple of years.
We did not get a deer this year. I'm kind of heartbroken, but I did not have freezer space, so I didn't push it. But yeah, we didn't get a deer this year. Usually we have it. I went to bed early last night and I'm still yawning. I literally went to bed last night at 7:30. It's like I'm a little kid again. Had a long day, had to go to bed early.
Yeah, stuff I'm getting for, or going to look around for, is I'm looking to get some more of the Sure-Gel stuff, and all the other, what's the other gel?
Clear gel.
Quick gel, and all the different types of stuff, so that I can make whatever I need to do. I can make the gravy with the ground beef. I can take the Sure-Gel to my wife, on one of my trips to California, so she can do the apricots and stuff. We may take a trip out to Brentwood in California, where they got all the orchards out there, and pick up a flat of either pears or peaches or apricots, and let her make jam out of that.
Oh, I had this pear stuff. I want to make it, but it's so labor intensive. And I thought about ordering it. It's from Italy, and you cut the fruit really, really thin, and then you boil it in a sugar solution every day for 7 days, and then you bottle it up. So I looked it up, and I'm like, yeah, no. And the place where I was getting this, it was on a grilled cheese sandwich of all things. And of course, now they don't have it. So I'm going to have to make it this year. So there are some pears in my future.
Olive oil is something else.
Yes.
Think about stocking up on.
Before, when this last year was not a good harvest year, so I did get 2 1 gallon. And then the price almost doubled after I bought them. So I still have one of those. I need to get another one. I would like to keep 2 ahead, just because I know it doesn't keep. I don't use it enough to keep more than 2 ahead and have it not go bad on me. 2 gallons. Hopefully they have a good olive harvest next. Because
Also, if they want to have avocado oil, there are several companies selling. Oh wow, this company's selling a half gallon of it. Another one's selling. I guess that's a half gallon too. The half gallons are sold by different companies for $33 a half gallon.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hang on, let me check this one out. Is that a half gallon or is that a gallon? The gallon, same company selling in a half gallon, but the gallon is selling for $53, so $10 off for getting the gallon on Amazon. And does that include? Is that on Amazon Prime? That's not on Amazon Prime, but it says free delivery.
Oh, well, good enough. Oh, sorry, Louis, on that internet. I know the other day at my house it wasn't good. I'm here at my daughter's today, so I have better internet today.
So I'm not sure. I've never heard. I'm not sure about this. Hang on a second here. Let me. So, so there's the from Amazon, and that's the one that's selling the avocado oil. If you want to share that up,
Yes, please share it out.
You got to pick that. You got to do it.
I have. How do I do it?
See down below where it has our pictures, like you bring up me or.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, there we go.
Yeah. And yeah, so that's the 100% pure, unrefined, cold pressed. Yes, cold pressed.
Oh, good. Yep, that's what kind you want.
Yeah.
It's organic, which is possibly helpful.
Yeah.
Oh, it has the USDA stamp, so it is organic. By their standards, organic anyway.
Yeah. I mean, if you look, let me get back over here. So, organic, USDA organic. And it's really hard to read the print. It's not a good picture that they put on Amazon. So, but that Sulu, I've seen Sulu around, but I've never bought their stuff before. So if anybody knows, but yeah. But if you just go to the, I just put in avocado oil, and immediately everything, all the avocado oils for sale popped up. So.
Yes, that's a good idea too. The 5-gallon buckets with seals for flour and sugar, and then rotate. Um, I have problems with mice, so I'm a little leery. I like to put my stuff in glass whenever possible, but this would be a very good plan to keep a little bit more.
For the flour, we found the problem with flour is it's cheaper to go ahead and get the wheat berries and grind it yourself, because once you grind it, flour starts degrading.
Yeah.
Where the wheat berries don't. And the only way we found to keep flour fresh longer is to put it in the fridge. And where flour would usually go bad, in a year and a half or whatever on the shelf. In the fridge, 3-4 years later, it's still fine.
My daughter keeps my extra flour in her freezer here. So.
Yeah.
But sugar, that wouldn't be a problem.
No, not at all.
And as long as it's a food gallon bucket, if you're worried about the plastic, get a Mylar bag and put it inside a Mylar bag in the bucket. You don't even have to seal the Mylar bag. It's just to protect it from touching the plastic. Ooh, sorry about the yawning. The weather took a cold dive. It's down to went from 50s to 30s today, and windy. Hey, Mr. Charles, there's a link if you'd like to come up. We're just kind of discussing things that we should be storing in light of all of the current world events. So I've went from 1 year's worth of spices. I went up to 2 years worth of spices and sugar. So we're just kind of discussing things that we need to remind each other we should have on hand. All right, bye, 25E.
Yeah.
Thanks for coming in.
Yeah.
But yeah, I knew I probably should grab another food grade bucket and get some. That's a good idea. I could get more sugar in it than I do my gallon jars.
Interesting. I just had a thought, and I looked up what is Mylar, the material. Polyester.
So
it's made from polyester terephthalate called PET, but it's processed. They stretch it and stuff. it makes it resistant to oil, solvents, moisture, grease, and stuff. And then they put it down. It says they put a metallic coating on it, and you see what is the
You've convinced me. I'll just store my sugar right in the 5-gallon can.
is the
You can share some of your snow. I don't know that well, you know what? I do need your snow because I think we're not going to have our lakes and rivers are not going to be as full as they should be because we didn't get the snowfall we usually do. So I would take your snow, melted or not, so that our lakes and rivers could be filled up again.
The metal used in making Mylar is almost always aluminum.
Okay, I'm just going to store it in that plastic bucket. Hey,
And if
little
it's a food grade bucket,
should be okay, shouldn't it?
yes, better. All right. People talk about microplastics and stuff. Most microplastics come off of flexing plastic, like your little water bottles and stuff. You grab and they kind of go crink, 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 crink as you're drinking from it. And
those things.
the 5-gallon buckets don't flex that much.
No. I can stand on a 5-gallon bucket and paint a wall, so I think they're pretty good.
Yeah, someone was it Diana 2 asked me, or someone else asked me on one of my short your prep for today videos about why if there's PFASs and stuff, why are we storing water in IBC totes? And I answer was, well, we're not moving it around. It's thicker, it's heavier duty, it doesn't flex as much. And then I ended it with, if I could afford it, I'd be getting stainless steel tanks for water storage.
Yeah. Go buy an old milk truck.
I didn't think of that. I'm gonna go check with the dairies up here.
You can get the tank out of
one of the 24-foot trailers. They have the big trailers and short 24-foot trailers behind them. See about getting one of those.
Yes, Teresa, storing any water is better than not having any water at all. Exactly. Yeah. Start with what you have and what you can do, and then get better at it as you do it longer.
Yeah. And then also have all those ceramic filters with the collated silver coating on the inside that I use for the that I run for my drinking water through. So
yeah, they're not saying that we're in a drought, but the pond where I work, when 5-6 years ago when I started working there, it's at a third of the level of what it was 6 years ago. We just have not had the winters with the heavy snow to fill it back up. And it doesn't have another water source other than rain and snow. So yeah, a lot of those little things are drying up like that. The little watering holes for animals are dried up.
One of the around here, the high country up in the Tetons has been getting lots of snow. Down here, up until about midnight last night, about all the snow had practically melted off in town. Which, from my perspective as an engineer, when I was doing construction stuff and understanding hydraulics and all that, hydraulic as far as not oil, but water, hydraulics, and soil, is a good thing because as it melts, it soaks in, and we got mud everywhere now, which means it's soaking down to the aquifer. Whereas in previous years, it stayed frozen in through the end of April. And now we've already had it melt once, and now we got another 4 inches of snow out there this morning. Literally, my car is out there just covered with it, and it's just,
We are just swamped in mud right now, but that's because it's rained for the last 2 days straight. Today's the first day it hasn't rained in 2 days.
Yeah.
So that's, but it's not all day long. It'll rain for a little while and then it'll stop. Then it'll rain for a little while and then it stop. So if that sinks into the aquifers instead of running off into the ditches and into the water ways and going out to the Great Lakes, it'll fill up some of these little ponds and lakes and our aquifers.
Yeah.
The biggest drain to our aquifers, though, is the water plants filling those little plastic bottles. They steal a lot of water out of our aquifers here in Michigan.
Yeah.
And that you've seen the whole state, people have had to drill, when they have to drill a new well, they have to go way deeper than they've ever had to before. That's scary. You don't realize how scary that is if you don't know what that means.
Well, we have here we have some idiots who are on the graph in Idaho here who are saying, "Oh, we got all this runoff in the spring before we open up the irrigation ditches for everybody else, and that water's just going on down the Snake River. We take it and inject it back into the ground." Well, they're planning to inject it. They just take the water, run it through the regular irrigation ditches out to the different farms that are putting injection wells in, and all the injection well is an open hole.
That's not good. Then your aquifer is not purified water.
Yeah, that's what I find. They go, "Oh, it's perfect. It's pure water coming down out of the mountains." Well, yeah, out of the mountains, it's maybe pure water, but once it hits the Snake River, it ain't pure anymore. And once it is pulled from the Snake River onto the irrigation ditches, now it's contaminated with everything you've been spraying over those fields every year.
And then you want to inject that right straight. Oh no.
Yeah, and that's the big fight going on now, and we're not sure why these guys are so hyped on doing it. Other than the fact we know that some of the irrigation ditch people have been taking money for selling unused water, such as my irrigation water, and selling it to California.
Welcome, angels. Oh, Mr. Charles, you went fishing in the Snake River? I'll have to post my picture. I have a picture of me in front of the Snake River. It's one of my favorite pictures of me, but you can tell it's a really old picture. I've actually been out there twice to visit, once to visit family and once to visit a really good friend of mine. And I have a picture. The Snake River is gorgeous. And the picture I have is right where Evel Knievel did his jump across the snake, right outside of Twin Falls. But the Snake River is actually beautiful, beautiful river, but I wouldn't drink out of it.
Yeah. That's what we have so we got Twin Falls down in the southern part. As you head east, it you get up to Chubbuck, Pocatello, and then as you head north, then you come up, after about 20 miles, 30 miles from Pocatello, you hit where I'm at, and then go up to Idaho Falls and up to Rexburg and up into the mountains. But
my friend
Rexburg and Idaho Falls dump crap into their drains all drain into the river.
Yeah.
And we can't get them to say, "Hey, stop running your street drains into the river."
Motor oil, grease, animal feces, all sorts of things run through those street drains. Ooh, hot dog for fishing. Now you know, use hot dogs, Gil. That's what they use up here in Michigan too for catfish, but we don't have the catfish near the size you guys have down there. Not even close. They don't grow in the winter because of our cold. They don't grow as big.
I don't fish that often anymore. I mean, where I fished was in California on the North Fork of the Stanislaus River. Some really nice pristine water there, and it was German browns and rainbow trouts.
Ooh.
Yeah.
So when I was in I flew into Pocatello My friend lived between Pocatello and Twin Falls, and then we went skiing in Adrian.
Yeah.
So that was the area, same kind of area where I was there. It was
Yeah.
it was beautiful. I almost moved there, but I'm very, very happy I didn't. Very happy I didn't. That would have been a huge mistake.
Tammy Harder. No, Snake River is not my main source of water. It's a source of water for irrigation ditches, but our city has wells. We got 3 wells. And so we're pulling water from 280 some odd feet down. So
You have to let the water stand in an open container for more than 24 hours to get rid of all the chlorine out of the water. Chlorine will evaporate.
however, chloramine, which a lot of the uh, um, water processing plants for cities are adding instead of chlorine, doesn't evaporate that fast. It takes days.
Yeah.
However, if you go to a fish pet store, you can get the drop things of chlorine and chloramine remover, because freshwater fish don't like it, and so you use pros. Put a couple drops of that as recommended for how the gallons. I say how many drops per gallon. Do that, and then let that sit for 24 hours.
Just a second.
But the irrigation water we would get gets pulled from the Snake River about 2.5 miles upstream from us. And when it gets down here, if we have to use the water from the Snake River, we're going to be using that water mainly for flushing the toilets, the garden, stuff like that. And if we need to use it for drinking water, then I got all the filters and stuff to run it through. I got the UV lights to run, from a big koi pond I had to run the water through to kill all the bacteria out of it. And I got the sand filters and everything else to get the chemicals and everything out.
So our city, not the one I'm currently in, but the one I used to live in 1981. So this is 1981. I'm sure it's worse now. That's why I'm prefacing it with I only know about 1981. It was 5 pages front and back typed of chemicals they added to the water. 5 pages. Single space typing front and back of what they added to our water in our city. And the only reason I know that is because my brother was working in a factory, and whatever they were putting down the drain was causing a chemical reaction that was causing chemical fumes to come up through the drain. And so they gave my brother the list of what they added to the city water, the tap water, to see what was causing the chemical reaction with the chemicals he was head of maintenance, and they were putting down their drain. And I stopped drinking city water the day I got that report.
Yeah.
I won't drink water from a city tap. Yeah, if you can't make sourdough starter with city tap water, it will kill it. You can, but it won't be as good a starter as if you used a natural source of water. And if you go to the store and you buy a bottled water to do it, some of those still have chemicals in them, and you have to really watch. Even though they say filtered water or distilled water, some of those you can't trust.
The filtered water, they're not filtering it clean. They're just taking out certain things.
Yeah.
Distilled water, the problem is with distilled water, certain chemicals evaporate right with the water out and get recondensed back into it.
Yep.
Some chemicals that do not don't evaporate in evaporate from the water when you let it sit. Nitrates, most fertilizers and stuff don't evaporate out of the water because they are heavier than. They don't evaporate at until it turns to steam, and then it recollects again. And Mother Garden Club's in here
Aquafina comes from
from a
and
tap.
and
Yeah.
PFASs you cannot get rid of either.
Yeah.
If you dehydrate a small portion of your sourdough starter, you do not need to freeze it. You can just dehydrate it as a powder, stick it in a mason jar, put a small jar, put a lid on it, and it will keep like almost forever. As long as you can keep it dry, so it doesn't mold, it will keep forever. You do not have to freeze it. I mean, you could, but I wouldn't waste my freezer space.
Yeah. Yeah, Mark's talked about all of his freeze dryers about freeze drying sourdough starter.
Yeah. I just dehydrate mine. When I get too much or when I get tired of it, I dehydrate it. And I just take the little crumbs and make sure that they crumble so they're not like it's powder. Because a couple times I've left it as like little sticks and then they had moisture in them and they molded. So I just make sure it's powdered. I dehydrate it a little bit more and throw it in there, and it's good for a long time. I have a Berkey too, but I don't have a filter. I got to get my filter for my Berkey. I just use my Berkey as a water dispenser because the water I have here is pretty good, but I still need a filter for if I didn't have good water to put in it.
Okay. The problem with reverse osmosis is that it takes all the minerals out.
Yeah, and then you don't have the minerals you need for healthy bones.
And then when you drink it because reverse osmosis water is no longer stable. And so when you drink it, then it tries to stabilize itself by pulling the minerals out of your blood and bones.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay, I knew it was not good for your bones, but yeah,
because it needs the minerals, the copper, the iron, the calcium and stuff to stabilize. Yeah, everyone thinks, oh, H2O, that's a perfectly stable chemical. No, it's not. It likes to adhere to stuff.
yes. Oh. Oh
Now,
yeah.
I may disappoint a few people here. There are several states, including Iowa and California, that have banned the sale of Berkey and their filters for false advertising for not doing what they say as far as cleaning the water like they claim they do. Another brand that you can use in the Berkey, it'll fit in it. Trying to remember the name of it here. Let's see, I still got that open. There we go. Let me look it up here.
Yes, because you showed me that. That's the one I want to order.
It begins with an A.
Aviva.
So, yeah, hang on. Let me see if I can find it here. I think I have it saved because I know Butch from Sand Hollow Homestead had it, and he got that brand because the comparison it was better than the Berkey.
Right.
But the filters can be used on the Berkey. Let's see. So look it up here. Alexa Pure.
Alexa Pure.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Not to be confused with the other. Alexa, what's the temperature?
Yeah, I don't have one of those either.
Yeah.
It's bad enough. I was talking with my friend about her little boy and his need for snacks at school and his need to have snacks with him. And yesterday and today, Facebook sent me an advertisement for a little fanny pack for kids that had 2 snack compartments. It was made just for kids to carry their own snacks. They're always listening. So my iPhone is always listening to me. I don't need Alexa listening to me too.
Wrong one. Here we go. So on Amazon, I have saved, and I'm sharing it, so you can put it up there, please.
Okay. Oops. Let me get to the. There we go.
All right. So AquaQuest, the top one here, has the two of them. Fluoride water filter replacement for the Berkey, and also works in the Alexa Pure. So AquaCrest makes filters to it that has the proper rating and stuff on them, certification rating on them. Oh, and okay, I added that back in last October 2024. I've added this to my thing here, and the price has dropped 32% since then. It's a sale.
Yay! Love a sale.
Yeah, so 32% off. Now the Alexa Pure has is a more expensive filter. Come on, get off there. So it is $90 for the filter. It's an expensive filter, but it does all the stuff that the Berkey doesn't do. But those are two things you can look up on Amazon: AquaCrest and Alexa Pure.
Okay. Yeah, when this whole thing came out with California and whether they were that whole thing with them about Berkey, somebody was getting rid of their Berkey on Facebook Marketplace for $50, and it's a $310 unit. And I'm like, "Yep, that's mine." Will you take 40? And she's like, "Yeah, I'll take 40." I'm like, "Yep, that's mine. I'll take it for 40."
Yeah. And that's the thing, is you can find other ones that are not exactly made for it, but the filter will go in because of the silicone gaskets.
Yes. You can use 2 buckets.
Yeah.
And get a spout and put on there.
But what I do like about the Alexa Pure and the Berkey, it's a stainless steel container.
Yes, and that's why I got the Berkey. Even though I knew I didn't have the filter for it, I'm using water, but I don't want to fill the water tanks in my camper because I don't want to have to drain them in the winter. So I just use my Berkey, and it sits next to my sink. I can wash my hands or get a drink, and I just use my Berkey for my source of water instead of the water tanks and the sink in the camper. So
yeah. Let's see here. I'm just checking something else out here. See what the price is on these other things here. Come on, keep it. All right, there's another one called Purewell. It is also stainless steel, and it takes the Alexa Pure filters as well.
I think that one's a lot cheaper.
Yeah, it's 138 for the 139 for the it's got a stand. It's got the base that holds it, and the top is the one you pour the water into, filter through into the base.
Purewell.
Yeah. And all they're showing on Amazon is the Purewell, and hang on, here's another one, but it's a little bit more. Or it's, hang on, let me look at that one. Ice Joy is a knockoff of it, but then Ice Joy has all their filters, but they don't say. Oh, they claim to be reduced 99% of chlorine and is NSF/ANSI 42 certified, but it's stainless steel. One of the Alexa Pure filters has a 5,000 gallon throughput capacity is on sale for $64.
Ooh.
And I'm just looking at the different ones here. There are a bunch now of the stainless steel ones made in China, and they're all using the same friggin' photo, different brands. But they're at $99. The big Berkey gravity feeds stainless steel 2.25 gallon is $367.
I have the next one down. I don't have the big Berkey, but I have the next one down. But for the two of us, we don't need that much.
I got the Zen knockoff, which takes all the Zen filters. Granted, yes, it's a hard plastic, so there's no flexing on it, softening, so there's not quite as much stuff on it coming off. But I have the 6-gallon one.
Yeah, I think.
And I fill that up all the time. And when the grandkids come over, they got their own water bottles, sipping with straw in it. And they want water. They're all trained now. That even the youngest one goes over, pops the lid, fills his water up.
Yep.
And when they go to leave, I look over and go, all right, half the water's gone.
Yeah.
Because they like the water taste over here at Grandpa's because it's filtered. And it's not quite as hard as the water at their house.
Yep. It doesn't have that calcium taste to it. Oh. Yep.
Yeah. Actually, all right. So the ceramic ones I'm currently using that are knockoffs of the Zen come from South Korea. And they actually have a better rating on it than the Zen ceramic ones do. You said down to 0.05 microns, it's 0.02 microns.
Nice.
So,
well, I promised I would help my daughter today, except from noon to 1, and we are past 1 o'clock. So I will see you tonight at 8. Everybody.
what's the
Isn't tonight? Oh, today's not Monday. Monday at 8.
Yeah, Monday.
I
Yeah,
have
tonight.
days. I need to light up what day of the week it is. Monday.
Tonight is Thursday night, so for me it's the midnight ride on Gray Man Prepping at 10 o'clock Eastern, because midnight ride really started at 9 o'clock.
Yeah,
the 9 o'clock ride of Paul Revere didn't sound as catchy as the midnight ride.
Yeah. Yeah, he had a long way to go. He didn't start at midnight and end at midnight.
And it wasn't just him. There were 4 or 5 riders. There were 4 male riders and 1 female teenage rider.
Yeah, there was a bunch of people out there. So anyway, I'm going to let y'all go. I will probably try to stay awake for Gil's Live, but I will see you Monday night with a Q&A. I will talk to you later. Yeah, 9 o'clock is the new midnight. That's for sure for me.
Hey, it's 9 o'clock is midnight in England?
Maybe. I don't know. We'll have to, maybe Sweden. No, might be over there. All right.
Yeah.
Bye, guys.